Hello there, my name is Illy, and today I'd like to tell you how to prepare for Anatomy Physiology class. I just finished with this course and I did good, but I'm not here to show off and to tell you about how I did. I'm just here to share how I prepare for this test. As you can see, my English is not my first language, but I still managed to get a good grade. So if I did this, anybody can do it. Even you can do it. So my number one rule to prepare for AMP classes or for any science classes is believing in yourself. Convince yourself that you're preparing for that class, not because you need to pass this class in order to get the credit or in order to go into the program. No. Tell it to yourself that you want to study this class because it's really interesting for you, and especially for anatomy and physiology. This is about you. You're not a bacteria, you're not a tree, you're not archaea. This is what you're made of, and this class is really interesting. And just convince yourself and start really strong. If you're starting strong, and believe me, if you do well on your first test, you will have that confidence and you will do well in whole entire course. So look at these books. How I just by looking at this book, like this is the text and this is the lab manual. Look, it's like over 700 pages. Just by looking at this, I already want to give up. Just saying like, wow, I have to study all of it. Like, yes. So what I did, I took each chapter, I scan it, and I print it out. So it becomes like this, like 20-30 pages, and I save it on my USB, each chapter separately, so that way I can have it anytime I can reprint, anytime I can access to any chapters. And the good thing with this, it's not heavy. You don't have to carry with you a lot of books. You can carry only this chapter for that specific week when you're covering specific chapter. You can highlight. As you can see, I'm highlighting here. I'm leaving my notes. You can use it as your notebook. And another thing, it's very important when you're studying science classes, is how to read. I've seen some of my classmates how they read. They read like they're reading a regular book. They read chapter like within like an hour or two. You cannot do this specifically with anatomy class. You cannot do this. You have to go really slowly. For example, look here, I've read like 3 pages. It's different class. It's microbiology, but still it is science class. So it's only 1, 2, 3 pages, and I've read it for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I constantly go back and read it again, go back and read it again, take my notes on my separate notebook. I'm taking my own notes, and I'm comparing it with professor's outline. And basically for this one chapter, I spent about, I don't know, roughly, if it is like 30 pages, I spent like at least 10 hours to study this chapter. But believe me, when I do this for the exam, I don't even read the text. I just go through my notes, I just go through professor's outlines, and I'm done. I'm ready for that. And after I finish reading, what I do, I usually go to my friends, go to my relatives or someone, and I tell them what I've studied, what I've learned. And no matter, like, that person may be busy, may not be interested, may not even listen to me, but I still go and tell them, like, you know what, it is so exciting. For example, I read about, let's say, if I read about heart, I can say, like, wow, you know, I read about heart and it has 4 chambers, so there is like atriums, there is ventricles pumping out the blood, actually receive the blood, and so on. And because why I do this, because I know that the best way of studying is to teach someone, or is to tell someone. And after I do tell the story to my friends, what I do, I go to YouTube or I go to the lab and look for the visuals. I can go to the YouTube and watch the videos. A lot of my friends, they watch the video before they read the text, and this is really wrong. Why? Because you don't know the terms yet, you don't know the physiology, you don't know the anatomy, and you're watching the video, you're basically wasting your time. When you read, when you follow like what I've told you, and after you do those steps, if you watch the video, you don't even have to look to the screen. You can, a lot of time I notice I can just put my headphones on and walk to my school while I'm listening to that lecture or to that person, and I already know what's going on because I've read the text, I read the outlines, I already took my notes. It's just extra repeating step for me. And just remember, for this class, if you're planning to do the cramming, like to prepare like 2 days before the exam and to study all like 2-3 chapters, it's not gonna help you. Unfortunately, it's not gonna help you. With science classes, it's not gonna help you. You have to keep that constancy. Just believe in yourself and be constant. Spend at least like 10 hours per week for that class, and then you should be well. And another thing, I know you can get busy with the classes. Read at least, like on your way to class, read the outlines before the lecture starts. Have some little idea when you go to the lecture, so when the professor tells you, so you should have some little idea what he's going to talk about. In addition, for my next video, I'm going to cover the organ systems. I'm going to upload the video where I'm going to talk about organ systems and basic anatomy, basic structures, basic physiology, and what kind of questions you might have on the test. And if you want me to cover any specific, if you have any specific questions, or if you want me to do like separate video on specific chapter, please leave on the comments below and I'll do the video on that chapter. Alright, good luck and take care. Bye bye.